am on a mission, and that mission is to slap people upside the head and wake them up and even make them hate me, if that's what it takes to get them to go examine what I'm telling them to find out that it's right.
First of all, this needs to be said. There never was a war. How can you say that, Bill? Well, a war is when two armies are fighting.
Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out.
You know, and all these hidden agendas and just brainwashing and bizarre belief systems that are being thrown at us, you know, when they should all leave. Not only the good ones and the bad ones, they should all just leave and leave us alone.
Good evening, everyone out there in radio world. It is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast. We're coming at you with some mellow music for your listening pleasure. No, not really. This is Justin time. I'm your host, Justin, and tonight I have my co-host, James, on again with me tonight. How's Mr. James?
We're here. Upright and vertical, able to take in air, so we're doing good.
Woo! I try to start my days like that every day. It's the days where I can't get vertical and not breathing. Those are the days I worry about my health.
That's when you drank too much the night before and smoked way too many cigarettes.
Muted. You've been muted. I don't even know. I hit them both, but I guess one didn't.
Oh.
Damn mechanical. Mechanical failure.
We could rewind.
Let's try this again. So how you doing, Mr. James?
I'm doing all right. I'm upright and vertical.
Yeah, that's good. Every day that we can do that's good, I guess. I think everyone should be upright and vertical every day, though. So, everyone, we have open phones tonight. So if anyone wants to call in and banter and throw around any ideas or just call in and tell us to shut up.
Although we can't.
We can't because we're stuck until 8 talking. So you're just going to have to deal with us making bad jokes and laughing at each other and talking about everything. So the number is 718-717-8296 if anyone wants to join in. And if I have you in my Skype contacts, you can just throw me a message and I will drag you into the conversation, kicking and screaming. So, now I got all the formalities out. Oh, wait a minute. UCY.TV. We're on UCY.TV. It's a weird day for me, man. And it's been colder than hell. And I usually like the cold, but when it's negative blah for ever, right now, I could use a 10 degree day. That'd make me feel good about myself. I like 10 degrees. 10 to 30. That's
it got to
decent.
4 today.
Maybe your house, it was 1.
4 in Montpelier today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shall I pretend?
Yeah, a little. And it was 30 degrees on last Saturday. So it's only been 4.5, 5 days.
Okay, well I missed last Saturday because I slept through most of it. Okay, no, it's not entirely. No, that was Sunday. I'm sorry. I'm confusing my days. Saturday, I was on with Saul at 10. Yeah, and then my power. Then I lost power for 4.5 hours. Go grid system. Yay. You know, I'm so happy we have this integrated electrical system to feed everyone power, just so the substations that power other substations that power other substations, but don't actually generate any power on this side of the state, can have their breakers fail.
Yay.
So 7,000 people had no power.
Wow.
In the middle of winter. For 4 hours.
Isn't that nice?
I feel sorry for anyone that lives in a trailer.
Or a yurt.
A yurt, especially, yeah. If they're relying on, well, if they're living in a yurt, they're definitely wood powered or like propane powered
More than
or
likely,
something.
but still,
definitely
you lose
wood.
your light, lose your water.
You don't need light and water.
Especially if you're living in a yurt.
That's right. You got a bucket and you got 2 buckets, one to fill and one to drink out of. So yeah, man, totally. So yeah, it's, I don't usually get like this weird feeling in the middle of winter. I don't know what it is about this year, but I'm just getting.
It's called old age.
I'm getting old.
You are getting old. You're gonna be a snowbird soon.
Really?
Yeah.
He's gonna fly off in the winter
you're gonna
time?
drive back and forth from Florida and
Florida? I don't think so, dude. I don't like Florida, man. I know there's a lot of good people in Florida and all, but I don't know how you guys can deal with the humidity down there at all. Like, I've been there numerous different times a year. And like, no matter what, like once you cross the border from Georgia and there, it's just like muggy and buggy. Just like anytime I've been there. And like, I don't like it, man. And the fact that like hurricanes, I like the stable weather we have up here, but the worst thing that can happen is like, a mini tornado goes to your town, or like a super electrical storm.
Or a hurricane. We had a hurricane also too. Oh, excuse me. Tropical storm.
Tropical storm.
Yes.
Tropical storm. Yes. Yes. So yeah, I'm not going to be Mr. Drive to Florida and then drive back to Vermont.
I don't live in a state that looks like a penis either.
I don't know.
Something about it.
I'm from the dangly state. Okay, we're starting to get weird already.
Get weird. We begin weird and get weird.
We could make $1 million just selling bumper stickers that said that "Get Weird."
Yeah, probably.
People are stupid. They buy anything.
I would just like to get I would like to get 1 million people to just give me $1. Why not?
You could probably con them into doing that.
Probably. I actually, speaking of conning people into doing things, there's something on Facebook like I heard about that you can get people to donate to this, that, or the other thing. And one guy I heard was, he's got issues, can't work, so he was asking people to donate money to his Facebook so he could get his car fixed. And people were doing it. Like, he made money doing that. I just think that's wrong that's basically panhandling. That's electronic.
Well, it is.
It's electronic panhandling.
It's moved from the street to Facebook. So does it make Facebook just as dirty as the street?
Yeah. If not dirtier.
I wouldn't even have thought of like, oh well, I need money for this. I'm gonna go start panhandling on Facebook.
Yeah. I'd rather sit on a street corner and make an honest sign that says, I want to get drunk. Give me $1. And people will give you money.
I know. I think I talked about that last time when John Stossel did that. Yeah. And the most honest sign he had, he got the most money.
Yep.
Cause I'd give money to that guy who was just like, I just need a fifth of whiskey.
I just want to get drunk.
Not the guy who's all like, he's sitting there with like 4 teeth and definite track marks all over his forehead and anywhere you could stick a needle, he had it. He's like, I just need to get some diapers for my daughter. You don't have a daughter. You sold her already.
Hold her into bondage already.
I wouldn't give any money to that dude. No. But if he said like, I just need to get another needle, I'm like, yeah, I'll throw you a quarter. It'd have to be like a dented old dirty quarter, something I found underneath the seat of someone else's car.
One with a bullet hole in it?
One with a bullet hole in it. That'd be like a great necklace. Nice little, Of course, I wouldn't wear it in public. You get in trouble for that.
Federal offense.
That's defacing our currency. Woo.
It's already worthless.
It was defaced the second they printed it. Defaced and debased.
Man.
So, I don't know what to talk about tonight. I did want to touch on some car stuff. Would be fun because we're really big on cars. Of course, that's pretty much our main knowledge base.
Yeah,
of real knowledge.
Of real knowledge. Well, yeah, I guess. Like,
we can if all in all, if we had to be called in court as an expert, that's the only thing we'd be called in court on. Would be.
Well, I have another subject I'm pretty knowledgeable on, but I don't want to incriminate myself, so.
That's fine. We'll just keep your fifth to yourself.
I share my fifths.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about cars for a smidge. Let's see how long it goes. But these hybrid cars.
Your favorite?
I hate hybrid cars.
You love them.
No, I don't. I don't like them at all. Not even like, I don't even work on a lot of them. I just don't like the concept of them. Because it's yet another thing that people with money and corporations dangle in front of the sheeple's face and say, this is better for the environment.
You know what I think of when I think of Priuses and hybrid cars? All I can ever think of is that South Park episode.
Yeah, smug.
Smug.
Smug alert.
Everybody was so smug with their head up their ass.
But they're like that. That was the point of that whole episode.
I get it. I mean, that was like one of the, besides the Scientology and Mormon episodes, which were true.
Those are really good ones too.
But that episode was very true. These people think, well, I own a Prius and I'm not doing bad to the world like you're doing with your big truck. It's like, well, he's a contractor. He needs a truck. Sorry.
Right. Not like he's just this like 16-year-old girl driving around in like a huge jacked up Chevy with stacks and running on 7 out of 8 cylinders, leaking fuel on the ground.
I saw one of those today, actually.
They're everywhere. I think they're breeding at night in the Walmart parking lot. Pretty sure they are. And if they're not, their owners are. But what the snowball effect that happens to these people, not snowball effect, the smug effect that happens to these people that own these hybrid cars.
I just saw that comment.
The chat is always great. And Anon 0844, you got it right, man. You got it right. I'm not going to read your comment over the air, but the people that own these hybrids, they walk around, they look at you and me who drive a regular car that runs on just regular fuel, either be it gas or diesel. And they're like, well, you're polluting everything. And my car has such a small carbon footprint, and I'm so special. And I spent $47,000 to make sure I had this little roller skate with huge batteries in it. And a little screen that tells me my fuel economy. And I just like, and you are hurting the earth. You are such a bad person. I'm gonna put a ticket, I'm gonna write a citizen's ticket for a gas guzzler and put it on your windshield. Yeah. Yeah, these are the douchebags that get spawned when they buy a freaking Prius or the Insight or
the Leaf.
Well, the Leaf is all electric though. That's a whole nother.
We'll
get to that in a minute. That's all electric. We're just talking, the half-ass electric ones.
So what do we have? We have the Prius, and then we have the
Insight,
and then you got the Lexus hybrids. The RS.
Almost everything's got a hybrid. They have a hybrid Civic. They have a hybrid Camry. They have a they have a hybrid Chevy truck.
Do they?
I think so. Pretty sure.
I know they have the flex fuel trucks. I didn't know if they had a full size.
Maybe they're still developing, but the flex fuel one is even worse with the E85. It's even worse. Everyone's got a hybrid. Every manufacturer, that is. But they don't tell you like, oh, well, you're not going to be, you, the end user of this product, are not going to be generating all this environmental bullcrap that's going to kill us all because human caused global warming is going to take us all down. We're all dead soon. You watch. I've been watching for like 14, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Nothing's really happened.
No. I'm wondering where global warming is because it's freaking cold here.
Yeah, it goes south for the winter this year. But in manufacturing, we'll just call it like generic hybrid car. Doesn't matter who makes it. The battery alone, that huge $7,500 battery that sits in these things that have to be changed every 7 to 8 years, they're lithium batteries. Mm-hmm. Now, where do we get lithium? Strip mining!
Yep.
Strip mining for lithium. So, let me see here. All right, so let's talk about this so-called carbon footprint that you guys think you're better than us because your car is half electric. So, well, the strip mining company, not only did they go into probably some, I don't know, war-torn country out there across the Middle East.
Or displace a bunch of indigenous people.
Or do that. Mm-hmm. And then they bring in all these huge, leaky, diesel. Huge freaking machinery. And they go in there and they start ruining for acres this area and digging like, down, shit just everywhere when they're done. So you can have your hybrid electric car so you can feel good about yourself.
It's another scam.
It is. Like, they don't understand it. They don't even understand it.
They feel good. They feel good.
You know how much diesel, how many gallons of diesel probably went into just getting enough lithium for one battery? A lot more than you're going to run gasoline through that car while you own it.
Yep. It's, it's funny how people only see the one end of things. How, the majority will only see, well, I own a Prius. I'm not making a carbon footprint and my poop doesn't stink anymore. So.
Right. Yes, it smells very good.
They don't put together that, this thing's still made in a plant where they're burning fossil fuel, they're burning fuels, they're just not putting all that together. And nobody's coming out and saying, hello, this is what's happening. I mean, there are people that are coming out and saying it, but we're lunatics or we're on the fringe.
We gotta stop telling these people while we're running around with our shirts on our head with a tinfoil hat on, with our magic underwear on. One shoe is facing the wrong direction. That's what turns them off, I think. I'm not 100%, but I've been told that I should stop doing that in public.
But it's amusing.
They don't believe me. They never believe me.
Yeah.
So there, people, just the battery alone ruins that car's carbon footprint. Let's not talk about all the plastic that's been in there, and let's not talk about the electronics that are probably made in some slave-run, country. Not slave-run, but slave, you know what I mean?
Well,
we're all slaves.
But yes, I know what you're saying. Yes. Sweatshop labor type.
Right. So, and then what's the best fuel economy, Mr. James, that you've seen in one of these hybrid vehicles?
I mean, the only one I've ever seen that did all that well was maybe mid-30s they were getting to the gallon.
Yeah, they're getting 35
36
to 40 tops, and that's for the ones that only go to the store at the corner and back.
I will tell you the best gas mileage I've ever seen in a car was in a regular gas car, and they were getting 39 miles to the gallon consistently, and that was in a Subaru. And when the new Legacy sedans came out in 2010, the new body style, guy, I mean, granted, he was an older gentleman, so he didn't really put his foot into it, so to speak, wasn't pushing through the floorboards, but just regular around town driving, dude was getting like 38 to 40 miles to the gallon. Like, I don't know how the hell he did it, and I would attribute that to the transmission in the car, but you don't need a hybrid to get good fuel economy. I don't think personally.
So you look at the hybrid, the idea of conventional engines, internal combustion engine,
heat exchanger,
all by itself, and then you got the hybridized, the electric assisted regenerative braking bull crap, and attached to an internal combustion engine that's teeny. Mm. There's no benefit to getting the latter other than you spent more money. You get to wear that smug badge on your chest and walk around like, I am so freaking special. Look at me. Al Gore loves me. I'm in the Al Gore fan club. Woo! Al Gore.
Man, bear, pig.
I think every hybrid should come with a free Man Bear Pig doll. I'd demand it if I bought one, which you'll never find me buying one.
They buy it so that they can push the responsibility of not doing more to protect their planet, quote unquote. Well, I bought a Prius. That should be enough. I recycle and I shop at Whole Paycheck and I drive a Prius. Like, these are things that they're doing to feel better about about what stuff is going on, rather than be part of the solution and changing real things that really are polluting the environment. Because there is definitely pollution going on. It doesn't fully equate into global warming, but there's definitely pollution going on.
We should, Just change it from, if we stop focusing on global warming and climate change, how about we focus on global pollution?
There we go. Huh?
And then it'll be instead of being human-caused global warming or human-caused climate change, it'll be corporation-caused global pollution.
That makes a little bit more sense to me.
It does to me because, no matter, I don't know about anyone else here in Radio Land, but I don't drive a whole hell of a lot anymore. Can't afford to, even if I wanted to. Joyriding, out of the question. I haven't done that in a long time. I have to have a place to go, and I have to at least do one thing on the way. I gotta make sure my
map it out.
My $3.80 a gallon gas is being burned well in my 20 miles a gallon car. I want to make sure I'm getting my use out of this.
Why can't manufacturers improve upon the wholly inefficient internal combustion engine? Like, if you really look at a regular gas engine, that thing is so inefficient. It's not even funny. Like, it's a giant heat exchanger. It's like barely, I don't know. I think, and with the hybrids, they've been improving fuel economy, blah, 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 blah. But I think there could probably be some sort of engineering marvel somewhere that could improve upon how old is, like 100 and some odd years
old. The internal combustion engine?
Yeah, it's like late 1800s.
It's like 120 years old.
Yeah, so,
130
we're
years
using
old.
almost the same technology that they started with on the Model T. Almost.
Yeah. A couple more valves, maybe a camshaft on top of the head,
A bunch more junk added to it to add the weight and everything like that. But it was inefficient then, and it's still inefficient now.
Earlier, before we got on air here, I mentioned my old 86 Honda Civic 4-door I used to have when in high school. I paid $450 for that car. I had to put an alternator and tires on it. Great car.
And you got how many miles to the gallon in that thing?
43.
Yeah, exactly.
43, and it would still do 110 miles an hour with 4 people in it. Of course, it didn't have any bells and whistles.
Nope.
It had a 4-speed transmission. 4-speed! So it didn't even have overdrive. It was one.
Because you had reverse.
Technically, reverse is the same as first gear with the idler gear that you engage instead. Come on.
I'm just throwing them wrenches.
Don't make me.
I'm just throwing the wrench in.
You and your works and wrenches and how dare you?
Somebody's got to do it.
You derailed me. You hear the train tumbling?
I hear the train.
Passengers going.
I hear it, but I don't see any silver bullet around here, so I don't,
I had to sell a silver bullet. It was worth a lot of time.
Right, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Well, now I'm thoroughly derailed. I'm just going to continue what I was trying to say.
Yes,
please
do.
So my little Civic, 86 Civic, had like 170,000 miles on it. Still got 43 miles to the gallon. Only had an 8-gallon tank. I get upwards of 400 miles to a tank. Like, this car was crazy. It had a carburetor on it, a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder carbureted with roll-up windows, a tape deck that I had to put in it, and a 4-speed transmission. I think the most luxury item on it was the trunk release.
Seatbelt.
It did have seatbelts, but I don't think I ever used them.
Didn't have to back then.
Technically, you don't have to now.
It's a law.
It's a law. It's a secondary law in this state, though. So they have to pull you. Have to find some other bullshit reason to pull you over to nail you for the $100 seatbelt fine.
Yep.
But usually when they pull me over, I'm already doing 20 over the speed limit. So it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen very often.
More expensive ticket, so they'll give you that one. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I don't like to interact with the police when it comes to my vehicles. And I still don't have one fast enough to run away, so I have to stop.
Well, Justin Bieber's Lamborghini just got impounded today, so.
Would it have eggs in it?
No. He got arrested. No, he got arrested in Miami for drag racing.
Perfect.
That was, during my class today, I was in class and my phone started to blow up. CNN dropped like 3 things. Justin Bieber's arrested for drag racing and he had pot and he had a DUI and like, I'm in class and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself while I'm trying to think about math problems, wow, we have nothing else in this world to be concerned about right now than Justin Bieber drag racing on the streets of Miami and throwing eggs at his neighbor's house that cost like upwards of $1,000 worth of damage to his neighbor's house. It's like, this is part of the problem with a lot of things around here is that the attention has been focused on something that just doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter to anybody. So why we need to change the focus is basically where we're at. So, but anyways, my whole point of that whole little Justin Bieber spiel was, that his Lamborghini got impounded. He was drag racing a Ferrari. So.
He deserved it.
Yeah, he deserves to be smacked. Anyways, I hope they treat him real nice in jail.
You know, it's really funny, like, you know, when rich people have these shiny cars, exotic cars that they drag race. There's no respect in that. Mm-mm. Ooh, you had a shit ton of money. You went out and bought a frickin', you know, a shiny phallic ring, and you sit in it and you drive it around. And ooh, someone else had one too, and it's a different color. So you decide to, you know, roll up and be like, vroom, 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 I'm special. You want to rate? And there's no respect in that. I have no respect for anything.
I don't respect for that. I mean,
you know, like,
now if he had crashed and burned and, you know, killed himself, then all right, well maybe, but you know.
I'm sure between the two people that were drag racing, how old is Justin Bieber? Like
19.
8?
19.
Oh, okay.
He's 19.
So he's got really good driving skills. I bet you he can go straight like a mofo.
Probably.
That's about all he can do.
Yeah, he was drag racing a Ferrari too, by the way, so, you know. Although if I could,
I'm sure it was really high speed.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's the 0 to 60 time on those things? Like 2.2?
Or something like that.
So,
well,
you know,
like,
I mean, you can get moving pretty quick, but, you know, if
he had to turn, he'd been screwed.
Exactly.
But my point is he can't drive. He didn't build the car.
No.
No respect.
No. Although there is one car I would buy if I had lots of oodles of money like that, and that's an Aston Martin DBS.
You like your Astons?
That's a beautiful car, man. Plus James Bond drove that car, so like, you know, that's just cool on that level anyway. But no, that's a really nice car. I don't care. But that's just me.
I don't like Italian cars.
Aston Martin's not Italian.
I don't. I was just getting back to the thing.
Oh,
I don't like
going
Italian.
back. I'm sorry.
I don't like Italian. I was gonna really preface it. I really don't like Italian cars, and then I was gonna say I don't like essentially European cars.
Yes, I do know that you are an Asian car man yourself. I understand that, and that's fine. I believe that like every manufacturer puts out one good product, the rest of them
they do.
All turds. But you know,
I think the one UK car I would love to get my hands on. I'm pretty sure it's UK. The McLaren F1.
No, it's American.
Is it American?
Yeah, it's an American car.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take 2 of those. I like the idea of the really big engine, the 200 miles an hour, and the 3-seater,
yeah,
and the driver in the middle. I like that idea. That's pretty cool.
It's not bad.
But I'm a Japanese car guy, you know. Like, and what I'm getting towards, I've had recent debates about the pluses and minuses, and my viewpoint on building cars for like anything. Oh, it's actually a pretty good topic right now. I'm really into the car thing. I always thought it was more respectful to build a under 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Doesn't matter who makes it. To go up against the V8.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's.
But I get crap about that. Well, you turbocharged 4 versus naturally aspirated 8. Well,
it's essentially it's a wash.
Right.
Like, I mean, one cancels out the other, really. My whole thing when it comes to that, because I agree with you that if you build a small little economy box car up into something good, and you can take on a V8 car, blah, 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 especially older ones, my whole point is that at least my little 4-cylinder car can take a corner. You get a big engine, big heavy car. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at how big my balls are. Oh, I can barely fit them in the cockpit of my car. Oh. But you can't take a corner for shit. So by the time you get around that corner, I'm already taking the next corner. Like, that's what it really, racing's not about, or drag racing, do any sort of car, anything. If you're gonna do it, it needs to be able to take a corner. Like, unless you're doing a drag strip, and then you might as well just have a freaking top fuel car, because whatever.
Yeah,
like,
bunny car.
Most cars on this earth have to take corners.
And there are such thing as left and right hand.
Well, there is that.
Yeah,
there is that. You can't just keep going in the same circle. seeing the same chick, seeing every
NASCAR just going nowhere fast.
Every 3 seconds, you see the same person standing there going, "Whoa!" He's just a little drunker. He's time to go by.
He's got a different can of beer in his hand.
Although, but there is something I will say, after going to a couple of NASCAR races recently, like there is something to be said for, those guys are athletes to sit in that car for that long.
The G-forces alone.
Right.
Kill you.
There's that whole end of things. But if we're talking just car stuff, the amount of work that thought and work goes into those cars, like, it's impressive of what they do. I mean, and they can make these cars do over 200 miles an hour, which, that's saying something, but it is a big ass V8 engine, I mean, if you can get a
old tech.
It is. I mean, the only thing that they do to the cars differently is a restrictor plate, on certain racetracks, but that's one of my favorite races to watch are when they have to do the road courses. Cause, oh my God, they throw a left right after a right-hand turn.
Oh my God! And then they always wreck at that first right. Yeah, I guess the road courses are kind of fun to watch. The short road courses are awesome. They just can't handle it.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, there is something to be said for building up a 4-cylinder small engine to compete with a V8. I mean, you can crank out about 350 to 400 reliably out of a 4-cylinder with a ginormous turbo, but
always got to be ginormous. Look at the size of the STI turbo and the WRXs and the Subaru.
But those things are only pumping out 325.
They're only pumping out 325 to begin with. I've the biggest, baddest car I've ever driven in my entire life, and it's not a muscle car. It's a 05 WRX STI, 505 horsepower to the wheels, out of a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. And I'll tell you right now, there is no boost lag in that car.
No.
That car was light up all 4 tires in the first 4 gears. All 4 tires. That's way more impressive than any smoke show from any muscle car out there. And as for blowing donuts, people like to say that the rear-wheel drive cars blow the best donuts. Sure, I guess. But in the end, when you move away from that donut with your rear-wheel drive car, you just got one big circle. If you take a 400 horsepower WRX STI, put her in first, rev her up and dump it, it pivots around that driver's tire. And when you get done with that donut, you literally have a rubber donut on the ground. You got a big, huge circle on the outside and a little teeny circle in the middle from that front tire. And it just pivots right there. And it's just so impressive. If anyone wants to see one like that, it's really awesome. You should check it out on YouTube. Just look up WRX donuts. You'll find a bunch of videos. There was just one video of this dude. It was super impressive. This is the one that most impressed me. This dude could drive. Not only could he beat the crap out of his car, but he could drive. He did a perfect donut in two parking spots. It was within the lines of these 2 parking spots.
Nice.
It was right on the white lines on the outer lines. Holy crap, that dude knew what he was doing. He's been doing it a couple of times. I'm sure the tire store likes him.
More than likely.
So as we go on this rant, I'm gonna bring it back to where I was going with this fuel economy Prius bull crap, and we'll tie in the Justin Bieber thing. Because Mr. Bieber, I don't want to call him Mr. Bieber or Justin. Let's call him something else. JB? Yeah, JB.
No, because those are my initials, so no, we can't do that.
We'll call him,
D-Bag.
D-Bag. Okay, in D-Bag's car, he just bought it. He can't drive. He doesn't even have any life experience or road experience or nothing. In my book, he's
worthless.
Not even worth looking at. Pop an eyeball looking at him. So you have no respect for him because he had to have that car. He spent a lot of money on it, and good. He got arrested because he was stupid. He didn't run. He had the car to run. If me and you had that car and it was registered in his name, do you think the cops would have impounded that car? Hell no.
Well, yeah, probably.
They would have. It would have had 4 tires and a really screwed up front end by the time we were done. After a 6-hour chase and we ran out of gas.
It'd be a crumpled wad or something. I'd hit the ejector seat and I'm gone.
But not only is building a car respectable, once you know what goes under the hood and how your car functions, and if you take it to the next level where you're programming the engine management system, you can literally, my WRX, it wasn't running the greatest when I was racing you back in the day. Me and Mr. James used to do some back roading.
German power.
Yeah, Jap power on my end.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could, in my WRX, I looked up the specs. I found the thing that just linked all what it had under the hood and the program and everything. When it was running its best, it was 378 horsepower. When it was running its best at 15 pounds of boost out of a 2-liter 4-cylinder. And I could go wherever I wanted at super high amounts of speed, broadside, blowing all kinds of donuts or, making the tires spin, chirp, and whatever. I get 90 miles to a tank. 90 miles to a tank, man. It was nuts. But I could get from here to, pretty much halfway across the state. Because no one really knows where I'm at and where I'm going, but it's usually a 2.5 hour drive in a regular car going regular speed, and I could get there in like 40 minutes.
Just gotta stop for gas twice.
Gotta stop for gas. Well, I got there on a full tank. I had to gas up before I left. But this is where I tested it, and because it was programmed so well, and with the large turbocharger and the large intercooler, it actually had what they call turbo lag. So, the turbo wouldn't actually start boosting until I got to about 3,800 RPM when it would start to spool, and it wouldn't hit peak boost until about 4,400. Now, under that, you think it had no power. Well, it felt like a regular car. It felt like a 200 horsepower, 230 horsepower car-ish, so it had enough pep to get out of its own way and whatever under that. I could get 33 miles a gallon with that thing if I just drove it normal. Going from 90 miles to a tank to about 340 miles to a tank, just depending on your foot input.
I wonder what the Chevette used to get for you.
It's in the citations in there in that book. Grab the book. The citation's pretty much the same thing. I'm fairly confident. It's just a little bit heavier and a little bit longer with 2 more crappy doors that don't work.
Chevy Citation. I don't know why they said that was the worst car ever. I didn't think they were that bad. Well, no, not the Citation. I was looking at this Caprice Classic.
Oh, yeah. That
thing had a V6 in it?
Yeah. The 2.8, right? Or the 3.1?
Displacement. 2.7.
2.7. Huge.
V6. 18 miles to the gallon.
Woo-wee. Good thing we got hills around here.
Zero.
Coast it.
Guess the 0 to 60 time.
22 seconds.
9.6.
Oh. Jeez. There was a car in there that had 0 to 60. It was 47 seconds. It was one of them cars. And I'm like,
that had to be
are you kidding me?
The Reliant Robin.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Well, 0 to 60, 19.6 for the Reliant Robin.
Wow. That's,
yeah.
Even Priuses are 12 seconds. I hate driving those things. So, fuel economy is all about how you...
The AMC Eagle wagon got 20 miles to the gallon. And remember that car. That thing was a giant brick of steel going down it had some wheels underneath it.
It was definitely
god-awful ugly with its fake wood paneling, but still got 20 miles to the gallon. And that was 1980 when gas cost what?
I don't know.
60 cents a gallon maybe? I don't know how much it cost, but
I don't know. I was just kicking and screaming around 1982 in this world.
So. Well, that's true. You are a young pup, ain't you?
Woof, woof.
I'm not that much older.
I'm just a little teeny puppy. I don't like it.
Oh, there we go. The Chevy Chevette.
I didn't have a say.
Okay, so Chevrolet Chevette. Top speed, 91 miles an hour.
Wow, it did 90?
Yep.
Holy crap, you can almost go back in time with that thing, as long as it had a flux capacitor.
0 to 60 was 14 and a half seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It had a 1.2 liter in it. Inline 4. 1.2.
1.2, yeah, it's
but,
huge.
But guess, this is the number that gets me though. 34 miles per gallon.
Really? 34?
34 miles per gallon.
That's pretty
now,
good.
So, so what we're really getting into what I think we're really getting into here is they just want us to buy the gas so that they can make money, so they just make cars inefficient.
Well, fuel injection wasn't created for fuel efficiency.
No.
Never was. Any vehicle, anyone that had a car from the 70s or was in the 70s with a car that had the new fuel injection in it, like the Lucas injection.
Yeah.
And any of those new, like the throttle body injection on the Chevys. And they went for, you had no control over fuel economy at that point, at least with a Carbosaurus, as I call them, because they are prehistoric now. You could make adjustments on the jets. You could change stuff out. You could make adjustments on the carb. You could actually get more power or more fuel economy. And with these newer fuel-injected cars, like you literally have to have a secondary piggyback engine management system wired into your main engine management system, plugged into a laptop like my WRX was, so I could manipulate all the numbers.
A Tucker torpedo, 1948.
Tucker torpedo.
Yep, 1948 to 49 was when they made this car. 20 miles per gallon.
See, look.
Like what's that? I don't know. It's like as you dig deep in anything, and I don't care what subject you dig deep in, like we're digging in cars because this is what we know. But it's just completely designed to screw us. Really?
They sell you on a new product. It's just selling you on a new product. Everything's a new product. Fuel injection was the big thing back in when in the 80s when it first started, or late 70s, early 80s when it started coming out. And like, what was it, like 7 years ago when they started coming out with the gasoline direct injections?
Oh yeah.
The GDIs.
Yeah.
The ones that like, the second I heard about that, I was like, that's a rolling bomb right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
A rolling bomb. People don't even realize that like when the gasoline direct injection is a dangerous system.
Huh.
If something went wrong in the fuel delivery system alone, like it's like it's got its own port drilled directly into the cylinder. It's not like a fuel injector. Kind of like a fuel. It's kind of, but not really. And it runs at the between 280 and 500 psi at the nozzle. And eventually, like diesel, at a certain pressure, shit ignites. Shit ignites. Now, what kind of a fuel pump do you need in that thing?
Well, you need something that's going to push a lot of fuel down the line to keep that
high flow, high pressure.
High flow, high pressure to keep that going so that you always have your on-demand pressure, because that's the other thing is like there's constantly fuel right to the edge, and it just lets it go as need be in millipulses, and it's constantly there under pressure.
And I'm not sure if this new GDI system is going to be any more efficient, because it seems like when they started going for the efficiency route when it comes to these new cars, it went away. It all went away because they already had the efficiency going in the 80s with the Japanese cars with the carburetors. And even a guy at work had an old Dodge Dart with a slant 6, and he could get like 38 miles to the gallon out of that sucker just by tweaking the carb. And that's what it's about. But we're each generation that goes by is getting less and less interested in tweaking on anything. They don't really want to pop the hood of their car. They don't want to open up their computer and figure out what's going on inside there. They don't want to learn much about anything. They're so distracted by social media and mainstream stupid television shows, reality TV shows, which are far from reality. It's kind of hard to have a reality TV show when there's a script. But these kids, they're not, the next generation, it's going to be like little groups of people. They're going to be like the outcasts. Oh, you actually work on your car? Oh my God, It's kind of like that Tokyo Drift movie there with Fast and Furious. At the beginning, man. At the beginning of that movie. Yeah. The stupid kid with the Viper, which is actually the oldest son in Home Improvement. Mm-hmm. He looks like a moron now. But like this guy's like looking down on this other kid, the main character in the movie, because he spent all this time and money like building up. I think he was driving. What was he driving? It wasn't a Torino. It
was like an old Cutlass.
It was a Cutlass. I was gonna say Caprice Coupe.
Yeah, it was a Cutlass, I believe.
Yeah. So he spent. He looked down like, oh, you got an old piece of crap there, and the kid knew what he had. And the kid knew how to drive it. Yep. And there's a whole different level of respect that you can get off or from people, from being able, at least from real people. I wouldn't expect to get any respect from the likes of that kid that was racing him. Because a lot of kids, they're just like, oh, well, my parents bought me a brand new car, and my car's cool, or I bought my dad's Viper.
It's like he said in the movie. Like, I don't like that movie too much, but one of the best lines in that whole movie is like, I'm impressed. You can read the sales tag, when he's at the beginning of the movie. Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm impressed. You can read the sales sticker. It's like, yeah. So, yeah, go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, whatever. But if you can't drive, then guess what?
You ain't got no skills.
You're going to be a big, bloody wad of mess after you hit a telephone pole.
Well, you ended up hitting that. They hit something. They did.
Porta potty.
They hit something really bad and screwed them all up. Anyway. Yeah. Cars.
Cars suck.
I love cars and I hate them.
That's why I say cars suck, because it's not a point in even mentioning that I still do love cars. I miss the smell of a shop. I miss the noises of a shop. I miss the camaraderie of a shop. But you know what? I don't miss working on that shit. I don't miss working on cars because it's a thankless job. You're everybody's enemy because you're raping them on the cost of the parts that you didn't make, or, you know, that you're just installing the part because they didn't maintain their vehicle, and now it's going to cost them $2,800 to completely fix their vehicle and bring it back to the loving state that they had it in when they first bought it. It's like we're everybody's whipping boy. We're from the customer to the boss to coworkers to parts people to like a mechanic is like almost one of the worst jobs you can have. You've got to be a glutton for punishment if you're going to be that job.
And nowadays, you know, and people don't realize that we're like doctors, okay?
We're doctors, we're plumbers, we're electricians, and my favorite part to add to that is a therapist, because you got to listen to somebody bitch and moan about, oh, when I first got my car, it got 32 miles to the gallon. Now I'm only getting 29. That's bullshit. Why? You need to fix that. It's like, well, it's wintertime. Gas is different. Like there's a whole lot of things that play into factors. So you have to be a plumber because you have to find leaks and repair leaks. You have to be an electrician because you have to find and fix electrical problems. You have to be a therapist because you have to listen to...
You to massage the freaking customer.
Yeah, well, you have to get all the information out of a customer because they don't tell you everything. You know...
Well, then you have to also be an interrogator at that point.
Well, you know, so...
And a massager, like I just said.
A massager, so you got to be a CIA operative on top of all that because you got to interrogate. So, it's just really a thankless job, and I'm quite glad I don't do it anymore.
I'm still stuck doing it.
I know.
I deal with it every day.
2014, man. Year of changes, bro.
It is year of changes. You never know. We'll find out after I get my debt slave check back. We'll figure out the next move. But yeah, being a mechanic used to be like a real respectable job. Yeah, seriously did. Because we're also like. What customers don't realize, they only look at the bill. And they don't realize that, like, well, we're actually looking out for you and your family's safety 90% of the time. The other 10% we're trying to...
Well, I wouldn't say... The way I always approached it, this is just me, my approach was always, do I want to be driving down the road when this pile drives by me and blows a tire or blows a ball joint or the hood pops open and they careen across the road and take out my wife and kid? Like, that's how I always approach it. Because to tell you the truth, that customer doesn't give two shits about me or you or any of the other guys that you're working with. All they care about is their car and the inconvenience that you're costing them by having their shop their car in the shop for 4 hours because of this, that, or whatever. Like, so my whole thing was, I don't give a shit about them. I care about me and my own and my friends and my close family, and that's who I worried about. That was how I approached it. And I was told that was wrong, but, you know, that's why I don't work on cars anymore. There's a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. Yeah. You know, when it comes down to it, I don't care what job you really have. I mean, we're speaking on this because this is what we know, but I'm sure most people feel thankless in their job. You know what I mean? That's an overall bad thing for everyone because it's like, you know, I feel that job is really hard, but you know what? Sitting in a tractor trailer bouncing down the road for 18 hours a day, it can't be that easy either. You know, sitting behind a computer desk for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I'm pretty sure I might smash myself through the monitor. I don't know. Any job is hard. I just think some jobs are a little less respected than others is kind of where that comes down to. And it's a damn shame because, you know, nobody should be less respected than anybody else, really. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words, which is strange. But, you know, just being shat upon by the customer, by your boss, by the parts manager, you know, everyone constantly questioning you. It's like, I'm surprised that there's not more mass shootings by mechanics in this country than there already. I've never heard of a mechanic snapping and going off. I only hear about, PTSD guys.
Or people on medication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one thing that hasn't changed in our industry is the wages. They haven't changed for 20 years.
Well, no, yeah, okay. Yes and no. It depends on where you go in the country. As with most jobs, probably. I don't know because I've only been a mechanic, but I know if I moved 2 hours south, 3 hours south to get to the next state, I would make almost double that what I would make up here. But then again, cost of living. Oh wait, no, I forgot. We live in Vermont. The cost of living is really high here, and we don't
cost
get
of living's
paid.
the same, yeah. So we don't get paid shit.
But I could move to Massachusetts and make $25 an hour flat rate. Flat rate.
That's the only way. It's the only way to work in this world is flat rate.
I think every job should be flat rate.
Yeah. Even when I was a housekeeper in high school, dude, I was I was a housekeeper at Smuggler's Notch in Jeffersonville.
Jesus, that's a haul from here.
That was in Hardwick, though.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
It's a little closer. It's still an hour and 10 minutes to get there.
Anyway.
But yeah, I'm working there, and it was they had flat rate, but they call it piece rate. So according to the size of the room that you clean, because there's a whole different size, all kinds of condos for these people that come from out of state and out of country to come, ski and snowboard, and be all like, "Ooh, I'm so special." Anyway, the bigger units, you had like 2 hours or something to clean them, and you'd get paid like 20 something bucks for the unit. And at the time, with my first girlfriend, we were working as a team, so really the money we didn't have to split the money because we were together. So like we were making like $200-300 bucks a piece a weekend. A weekend, man.
And back then that was good money.
In 1999, 1998, yeah, that was some serious money. Gas was $10 to fill my tank.
Oh, God.
Remember them days?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty bad when I'm only 31, reminiscing about the good old days in '99. It was pretty bad, dude.
I'll give you that. That's when I moved up here. And I remember the day I rolled into Vermont. It was 91 cents a gallon. And my Volkswagen bus sucked up 17 gallons and it cost me.
I still can't picture you in a bus, dude. I can now that I really can now that I've known you for 7 years. But when I first met you, I knew you were a V-dub guy, but you had the little Jetta turbo all blinged out with the power mods and the shiny stuff and the cool rims. I can't picture you driving around in a bus.
Different part of my life.
If I do, I have to picture you looking somewhat like Cheech or Chong there, Tommy Chong, with your flowered shirt on and your straw hat and.
No, more like dreadlocks and a huge beard and looking like every other hippie on Grateful Dead tour. That's more like or Fish tour at that time.
Now, did you have your record set up in the back,
all
ready to roll?
No, I didn't have any.
You weren't a moving. You weren't a moving.
Wasn't in the
party.
vinyl then, but it is what it is. I was into something a little different then.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, wait, I'm channeling my inner Rob Ford.
Yeah,
the bomba clot.
You want to speak a little?
I just swore on the radio.
I don't think anyone noticed.
Probably not if they don't know patois. They don't.
You want to throw a little patois down for us? Can you do a little freestyle? Can you do it in angry Asian man voice?
Angry Asian man voice, Jamaican patois. Ooh. I may have to work on it. Let me get back to you on Tuesday on that. That would take some work.
You're gonna have to work on it this weekend.
Well, I don't like putting myself out there if I'm gonna, completely bomb. So, I can do one or the other, but plus I don't know if I've had enough beer.
Sure, we already had one train wreck tonight.
So we don't need two. Let's just be a head-on train wreck and just be done with it.
Hey, they didn't switch the tracks over yet. Holy crap.
Not to Reich that. Not to Reich when they not to change the track.
Oh, we have a Tweety for that.
A Tweety? What's a Tweety?
Yes, we have watched way too much South Park in our days. But that's the bonus of not having regular TV where you're, I was saying to someone today, they're like, oh yeah, you don't watch TV. I'm like, well, I don't have TV. I watch stuff on the internet, but that gives me the choice of picking and choosing, which is good. I'm not like zombie, like glazed over eyeballs, sitting there hitting the channel up button for 4 hours before he goes to bed. Mm-hmm. You know, and then suffocates his wife with all the beer farts. I'm not that guy.
No, just your cat.
No, no, the cat gets the beer farts, and I don't ever hit the channel up button. I hit the what's next
refresh
on
button.
What's the refresh button? What's next on YouTube? Oh man, so I'm gonna throw it out again. If anyone wants to call in, we are open phoned tonight. So 718-717-8296. We are here all night long for another hour. In 5 minutes.
Deal with it.
It's right. It's right. We here, you there, y'all listening. It's gonna be...
Or no, not. We're just background noise. We're like the white noise machines.
Oh, there goes my mouse again. Yeah, I could do something with this freaking vine jungle I got going on underneath my desk.
You think?
Yeah, I could probably snare a couple of small animals, maybe one medium-sized one, just by walking through it.
I think Bambi could get choked in there.
So, yeah. So, back to like 8 subjects ago.
Okay.
Hybrid cars are freaking stupid.
They're junk.
They're dumb.
They're just...
No one buy one, and anyone out there buys a hybrid car, like, you just lost all respect in my book.
You should be shunned from society.
They should put you in a small community like Australia. Gotta find another big island to throw all you Prius owners into. Because there's nothing you can't do with a regular gas engine that you can do with a hybrid. Period. And as for your personal mechanic, you should shake that person's hand. Shake their hand and be like, thank you for keeping me safe because I am ignorant of my vehicle. And it's not such a big, it's not, like, some people get pissed off when you say, like, dude, you don't know what you're doing. And they're like, oh, well, I knew more than you because I used to work on my Camaro back in the day. And it's just like, well, your Camaro's not this.
Well, you're not Will Ferrell in Old School, okay? Like, we're not there anymore. Like, my prime example of that, my dad, many years ago, my parents were getting ready to come do a trip to visit me here. And my dad popped the hood. He was going to change the oil and plugs on his 2000 Buick. What was it?
Well, the Sabre?
No, it was the smaller one.
The Skylark?
Bigger than that. They had an in-between. They had
Fifth Avenue or something?
I don't know, but
Park Avenue?
Something, but it was the supercharged version.
Oh yeah, so it had the 3800 Series 3 supercharged.
Yeah, so my dad pops the hood on the car, looks around, closes the hood, jumps in it, and drove it over to the dealership because there was so much plastic on top of the engine, he didn't even know where to begin. And I have memories of my dad changing plugs and changing the oil in the garage when I was a kid growing up. And that's kind of how I got into cars a little bit. But, you know, your normal everyday person can't work on their own car anymore. That's the other part about being a mechanic is you have to be freaking smart, like not smart as hell, but you have to go to schools constantly to keep up on this stuff. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you should shake your mechanic's hand. You know what else you should do? Every once in a while, be it once a year, be it at Christmas, or do something completely off the wall, but bring them a 6-pack. Bring every guy in the shop, like, bring them a case of beer if it's a small shop, or bring them a round of coffee if you're there first thing in the morning, or just show a little appreciation to the underappreciated. I mean, it should happen to more than just mechanics, but like I said, we're just speaking in our world that, you know, people just need to show a little bit of kindness to everybody else, a little bit here and there along the lines to make other people feel like that because I'm sure that each person here, you know, feels appreciated in some way or another from somebody in their life. You know what I mean? It's not like everybody is underappreciated, but like from the people that you have to deal with on a regular basis that, you know, just comes in and bitches and moans, jumps up and down, screams and beats up everybody in the shop verbally to get the best deal that they can, because that's the other part of our job is we're completely viewed as the bad guy. As soon as people know, oh, I got to go to the shop, it's going to be a shitty day. You know, like, if you just bring a little niceness with you and a little appreciation, people are going to take care of you. Because I personally would be like, oh man, that guy went out of his way to like say thank you, or he brought us all coffees this morning. Like, you know, we're going to take care of this guy today. Mm-hmm. That guy that was screaming at the front desk guy, screw that guy. I'm going to make his car's last today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that
it's kind of like the theory of like don't
shit where you eat.
Well, yeah, they got a restaurant. You know, don't talk down to the service staff there because they're gonna mess up your order. They're gonna get spit in your food.
Personally, that's why I never send food back.
Oh, I never do.
I never send food back. You know why? And I've worked in numerous kitchens. That's all I did as a teenager, was I worked in kitchens. It's just like the movie Waiting. It's just, like working in kitchens is just like that. So I don't know. It's a strange set of circumstances that I find us in these days, where it's the me society, and we're all electronically connected to everyone else, and nobody has anything to say important.
I don't think people even say anything to each other hardly anymore.
Well, I mean,
it's like the kids. You seen the roaming droves of high school kids that are texting to each other in the same group they're walking in.
True.
You know, what's that all about?
Laziness,
I guess. You know,
what else would you call it?
I got a feeling, you know, and you know, if evolution is definitely the way what we evolve. I got a feeling we have about 6 more generations before we don't talk. Our vocal cords won't grow in anymore.
So we're gonna look like Neo from the Matrix when his mouth
all like
yeah. We're gonna evolve into something without mouths.
All right, we won't need to talk.
Interesting.
It's going to be right around the same time they start implanting those chips in your brains, so like the cell phone chips, so you can just talk with your brain to other people's brains.
Interestingly enough, my instructor at my class today, he's been wearing hearing aids for 25 years, and he's got this little thing he wears around his neck. And he was telling us today, he's like, I love technology. Why? My TV is Bluetooth compatible. Guess what? It's wired directly to
his hearing aids.
His cell phone, directly wired. It's Bluetooth. Anything that's Bluetooth enabled goes right to his hearing aids.
That's pretty awesome for deaf people, man.
I would think that if you have a hearing, like that's I
can see that as a technology plus.
I would see that as that, but it's like, it goes along those lines of like, wow, man, like, you know, like, I don't know. It's, you're right. I don't think we're going to have to speak soon because it's all going to be.
Well, they want to have the chip society. And the first step right now we got is like chipped as in like technologically connected to each other. Mm. You know, right now we got the Google Glass. But I even went out and looked up to see what they cost, man. The freaking price of those things are astronomical.
What is the price?
It's like $2,000.
Really? That'll be down to about $900 by Christmas.
Right.
When are they getting released?
I don't know. I think they're already
released. I know that some people
I've seen. I'm just going by the ones I saw on eBay.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, like $2,000 for the kit.
Okay.
And I'm just like, so, what's the bonus in having that? Cause, you know, I don't like the NSA surveillance crap. But a Google Glass isn't much different than the cell phone attached to your hip. You know, I got mine in one of them Otter boxes, and you got a camera on both sides of the phone anyway. The microphone's on both sides of the phone anyway. The speaker's on both sides of the phone anyway. So, and any application, like when you download an app, and the free ones are really bad for this, but they have all those permissions, you know, like connect to your network or you know, change your settings, you know, take photos or go through your memory card whenever they want. You say yeah, you know. And how many applications people don't read those disclaimers? And
they're like 25 pages long.
And then you look at the ones that are even if you don't ever download an application on your phone ever, they come with applications with those permissions already there. You signed the contract saying this phone is for you, and you don't have to download anything that's already on your phone. Mm. So they can hear and yeah, it's not exactly seeing what you're seeing. You know, it might be, you know, off to your left. Or you're right. And, and they can already see and do, like, so what's the point of not, Google Glass for me, like, it'd be bad for me, okay? For one main thing. I'd be walking around work watching a movie all day long.
Well, okay, but let's change that up just a little bit. You're at work and you're stuck on something, or you need to reach into a repair manual. Pull it right up there on Google Glass. You don't even have to stop working.
That's right. No, I have a bunch of PDFs from Subaru manuals already on my phone. So, like, all I have to do is be like, it's right there in front of me. The wiring diagram's right here in my face.
In my face!
I know what I'm doing. I see it.
I just see it as, like, I want in a lot of tech, like, like my instructor with the Bluetooth hearing aids. Those are awesome. Like, I would say that if you need hearing aids and that capability is there, hop on it, no matter what the cost, because it's going to be beneficial. But on the other end, with things like the Google Glass, you don't have to stop working to go, you know what I mean? Because, like, I always used to be like, oh, I got a hard problem. I got to go sit on the computer for a little while in the break room. In the summertime it's AC'd, and in the wintertime it's the hottest room in the building. Like, you want to go in there and hang out, like, on the computer. But if you have that and you have those on your head now, it's like, it's just a matter of keeping you working, like, with less downtime. Like, it's
right. And when you work a flat rate, time is money. Literally,
time is money.
Literally,
time is money, anyways. But
well, it is. But, like, it's more so
flat
on
rate,
flat rate.
yes.
More so, like, like today I put in an 8-hour day and I build out almost 14.
Oh, I miss those days.
Those are good days, but today's the first day it's been like this for like a couple months.
Yeah, that's
like I'm barely cracking like I'm barely cracking regular 40 hours a week right now. I'm there for 50 because
you're that dude.
I'm that dude that shows up 45 minutes before work. Plus you got the hour lunch. So I'm there like 6:45, punch in at 7:30.
You are not there at 6:45 because I drive by every day at 6:45. You're not there.
I count the gas station down the road.
Oh,
like I'm within like spitting distance. That counts. so the being can, like, there's pluses and minuses to all technologies. It's depending on who is using it. It's just like a gun.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's just like a gun. It's like, there's plus and minuses to have it, who has guns and who doesn't, but it's all on who uses it.
That's right.
Like, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
That's right. And if people want to kill people, they're going to use whatever they want. They're going to use anything.
We're going to have to start banning baseball bats if we have an outbreak of baseball beatings. That means our national pastime's gone.
I wish I still had the picture of that freaking assault bat. I do. It's on the computer that doesn't work, but maybe I actually sent it to Mike Rivero. I'll see if he still has a copy of it, and I'll see if he'll send me the picture back, or at least a copy of it.
I predict pain.
Yeah, he did a whole article on the baseball bat, because, there's more people, like, involved in violent acts with baseball bats every year than they are with guns. Period. It's a well-proven stat. And they got the UK, because like, oh, well, we only have like 32, like, gun deaths the entire year. It's like, yeah, but you have like stabbings and like beatings like daily. Like, multiples daily. Like, if people want to kill someone, they're going to use whatever they want. You can kill someone with a bottle. You can kill someone with a frickin' shrimp if you wanted to.
You gonna take my hands away? Because I could kill somebody with my hands. If, you know what I mean?
You have pretty big hands.
Not really, but
well,
I got a short, stubby finger. I'm like Homer Simpson over here. Damn my short stubbies.
Lisa Simpson.
Lisa's Homer. Well,
you can't play saxophone because you got short, stubby fingers. I can't ever know. Oh my God,
curse my stubby fingers. Made me a great mechanic, but I can't play guitar to save my life. So, not acoustic, anyways.
I can. You want to try?
No, not right now.
I'll show you a little Pantera right now, dude. I don't think anyone want to chat with me, though. Not like that. Yeah, Board, the assault bat. I think I've described it on air before. I'll do it again. It was a baseball bat. It was an old Louisville Slugger, and I took all my the standard attachments off my AR-15 when I got it, and I electrical taped it to the baseball bat. So it had my foregrip front foregrip that held an extra magazine where the magazine would go, and I taped it onto the bat, and I put the magazine in, and the stock grip, I taped that to it, and I taped the forward grip on the thing too. It's just all taped up with it. On the original stock, I taped that to the back of it. You know, it was pretty funny looking, but it was proving my point. It's like, you know, well, it's an assault bat. You know, we were gonna have to ban them because, you know, it holds 30 rounds. I can't fire them, but it holds them.
Cars too, because of all the people that get killed with cars every year.
Well, yeah, these are all the standard arguments for these gun grabbers, you know? And they're like, oh, well, that's different.
How is that different?
That's different, you know? It's not the car that's killing people. It's oh, wait a minute. No, I gotta change I can't say that. Wait a minute. Shit. Oh my God. I almost almost showed my cards. It's a bad poker game I'm playing right now. So, yeah. Yeah, the car, the 4,000-pound missile with the drunk guy behind the wheel. That's a little more dangerous in my book than the flying lead problem we don't really have in this country.
Oh yeah, we do.
It sits on the cops' end, yeah.
The flying lead problem is from the wrong side. It's getting reported from the wrong side, and that's the other problem is sensationalism and you know, the reportings of this, that, and the other thing. You know. But we're not going to report on this that's happening in the news, which is really important. No, we're going to talk about the same story we've been talking about for 3 weeks about this gun crime that happened weeks ago. Like, you know,
they never talk about any of the people that are, you know, the regular law-abiding concealed carry people, or even just regular homeowners.
You know why? You know why they don't talk about the concealed carry people? It's because when people come up and start to fuck with them, what do? They pull out a gun and. No problem.
Problem ends right there.
Exactly. When you're looking down the wrong end of a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson M&P, like, you're not going to cause any more problems. You're going to say yes sir, no sir, or yes ma'am, no ma'am, and you're going to back away.
I'll just be leaving now.
Yeah. See, and that's the whole right there. I don't know. I'd even carry around a crossbow if I could. I wouldn't stop somebody from messing with me. Granted, I can't reload real fast. I'm pretty good with it. I can load kind of fast, but
I'm pretty sure like a crossbow is a little more. There's a good thing about arrows and archery equipment. I'm pretty sure they have a higher penetration rate.
I say I can, and I can pull my ammo out of your head, bring it, reuse it.
Yeah, you don't see gang members ripping bullets out of people afterwards.
No. Give me my bullet back, bitch.
You know how much I paid for that bullet? I don't know either.
It's all stolen.
It's mine. Someone paid for that.
We are all over the place. Just another Thursday night on the radio.
It's another night, dude. Another night.
You know,
it's good. It's good having you here 2 nights a week, randomly now. Because I was thinking today, I was like, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. Of course, I never know what I'm going to do.
You never know what.
But I try to make some kind of an idea on Thursdays because, you know, I plan on being all by my lonesome. But I don't have that problem tonight.
Not all alone anymore. Wanna get high?
Let's just not all go wander off in the dark now.
Oh, the Blair Witch is out there.
I hated that. Oh my, what a hypey movie. The scariest, you know, we're going to go off on a Blair Witch tangent real quick. I have a Blair Witch story for everyone out there that wants to hear.
Whether or not they want to hear.
You have no choice. Well, you have a choice.
You can turn us off or turn us down.
Yeah, you can just find another network that's not as cool as this one. So there. Anyway, here's you'll see why you need to come back to UCY. That's what you'll see. So, my Blair Witch story, man. You remember the freaking commercials they had for that and all the hype for that movie? It was the scariest movie ever. And it's the guy that shows those screenshots of that girl, like, with the camera half showing one half of an eyeball, going like, I'm so scared right now. Went and saw that piece of crap. This is like when they started changing movie ticket prices too, so it was like $13 a ticket. And like the local stupid little hole in the wall 2 movie theater. Me and the first girlfriend went. My friend Mike was hyping it up. saw all the freaking trailers, and it
looked good.
It looked good. Yeah, it looked good. Went and saw the freaking piece of crap. Sat there for like an hour and 45 minutes, bored out of my skull. Scariest part of that movie was going back out to the dark parking lot with a flat tire.
I was just saying the scariest part of that movie was paying $13 to see it.
26, so I had to pay for the coffin too.
Of course, when you guys were making money together, she didn't spend her money on that stuff.
No, she didn't. She was actually, another tangent. She was actually the kind of girl that liked to buy the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
You know, where she'd go out to the mall, and when we lived in LA, she'd go to she'd go down to Rodeo Drive to feel special. Cause she was one of them special people that needed to have beautiful things and beautiful stuff. And she went down to that open air walk-in frickin' ritzy, snooty, smug people mall. And she comes back with a small bag. A small little white bag that said Origins on it. There was like 8 little bottles of things in it. I was like, what's that? Because I got a bunch of really awesome like makeup and stuff. It's from Origins. It's really awesome. How much that cost? $480 freaking dollars for a small bag of makeup. I'm sorry. She bought 2 bras too, and those were $90 a piece. So most of that was bras. Well, half of that was bras. The other half was makeup.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you
It's
kidding?"
like a third of rent out there.
It was she spent like a paycheck and a half
on a bag.
Yeah, on a bag of makeup
and
2 bras.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Nope.
Like, and this is everyone. This is 14 years ago. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the amount of money people will spend on name brand crap. It was just crap, dude. I don't even think she ever wore the makeup. She just bought it for her collection. It's like, who collects makeup?
Lots of people. Same people that collect shoes, handbags, sunglasses. Well, I remember like back in the late 90s, early 2000s when P. Diddy or Puffy or whatever freaking name he's going by, he used to have a guy in his entourage that walked around with him that carried a briefcase with sunglasses in it. That guy's job that he got paid to do was to walk around with Puffy's briefcase full of sunglasses.
Little shiny combs.
The only reason that dude was famous because he rode on somebody else's coattails that was way better than him. But let's not go into hip-hop culture right now.
Yeah, I don't have any knowledge on that because I was never a hip-hop guy. But whatever I got was from the 30 minutes of like MTV I watched before school, in high school, you know. We didn't even have MTV at my house, dude. When I was growing up, we had like one of the first satellite dishes in town, right? In like 97 or 96, 97. It was a Fuji Jitsubo setup. We had a 14-foot dish in the back. And watching TV sucked on that. You got all kinds of stations if you sat there and waited for the thing to turn and move to find the next satellite. And, oh my God. Like, those actually, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of them right now, like those old satellite dishes, because when it scans, when it's going to the next station, like you cut across so many different transmissions, you can actually stop it. Like you could literally, you could probably get yourself in some trouble with one of those things.
At this point in time.
Yeah, information not so free no more.
No. Yeah. No.
Yeah. But yeah, frickin'. So we didn't watch much MTV at my house. It was that little mini stupid story. So I watched it with my friend. He had cable, so it was just like channel 22 or something, or 21 or something. I don't even remember what it was. Now we live in a society of like, what are you watching? I'm watching channel 30 or 385 and 426 and 127, and it's all on the same screen. You know, it's like Back to the Future too. I always go to Back to the Future references for some reason.
Yes, you do.
I watched a lot.
I was gonna say that's
growing up. It's a really good
your
movie.
Thing from when you were growing up.
And me and my dad watched a lot of Back to the Future. But there's a scene in Back to the Future 2 where Jennifer from the past is hiding in Jennifer of the future's house. They're in Glendale, and Marty Jr. comes in and like turns on the TV. He's like, I want to watch the Weather Channel, 142, 435, 342, 22, blah blah blah. And he's got like 6 freaking channels going on this huge TV, which reminds me of this TV I'm looking at right now.
Now, what's funny about that is you can do that now.
You can, yeah.
Like you watch, if you order the NHL, NFL, or the MLB package, or the NBA package from your provider, however you get your TV, if you get TV.
It's your dealer.
It is. It's a dealer of sorts. It's a mind junk food dealer. But you can watch 8 games at a time on one screen. And they're small and you gotta, scan, but you can watch up to 8 games at a time.
Isn't that like perpetuating our ADHD problem?
You think?
Or ADD problem?
You
or
think?
both of them?
You think?
I think maybe we're programming in distractions. We're gonna not only in the future is no one gonna be able to talk, they're gonna be looking around all the time trying to see the next little thing move. Like, squirrel! Cat! What's that? Oh my god! The technology in those movies from the past that was supposed to be portraying the future, it's pretty funny when you look at it because a lot of the stuff is actually available now.
Well, some of it's here and gone already.
And that's what I was getting at. Some of it's already gone. Remember those little, it was before, like DVDs and MP3s got big and it was after tapes and after CDs. The little, what do they call? They're the little cartridge things. They're like compact flash disc kind of, but they were called, I can't remember what they were called.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
They were like little black, like, they look like little miniature Super Nintendo.
I know what you mean by like looking like a flash drive.
Yeah.
But
I just can't remember what they're called. But remember those? Like, no, you don't, but there were some people that had them. We had a DJ come to my high school that had those little things. I can't remember what they were called.
Well, I remember, what I remember is the big laser disc that looked like records.
I had a Laserdisc player when I was a kid.
I remember our school.
No Laserdisc though.
my junior high school or my middle school. They went out and like one year at the beginning of the year, they used to have a pep rally every year at the beginning of the year to talk about what's coming. And they were so excited because every classroom was going to have a laser disc player in it. And so that the teachers could play these laser discs. It's just a giant CD. Mm-hmm. And like, where's that technology now? Basically it's on a thumb drive, or a zip drive, flash drive, whatever you want to call it. Like, that's where that is now. It's like, you can put 3 times the information on a flash drive than you could on one of those laser discs. And those things are, it's kind of almost the way it went the way of the beta tape.
Beta, yeah. My grandmother had beta for years.
We talked about beta and VCR before, of how like beta lost, even though it was a better technology because Sony had more money to dump into, the VHS.
Yes, the was it a video home entertainment system? Or home? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
stupid.
But you know what I'm saying? VHS, like beta was a better quality.
Beta was a better.
Beta was better. Hey, hole. Did you get that? Why you gotta throw a wrench in there, dude?
Just taking my cues from my buddy over here, Mr. Fucking into the ring and wrench. You and your
nobody heard that.
You know what? These hand cranking middle fingers. I'm sure one day it's gonna be like.
Should be already, but I have roll up windows in my truck. So.
I envy you with that. I'm a roll up window kind of guy. Nothing fails a roll up window.
No.
Not usually.
No, usually the handle, because you're too rough. But you can replace that for like $10.
Yeah, because you were going too fast and you get the stop, rip in your hand, you're like, oh shit.
Volkswagen.
Well, at the very least,
mid-80s
when you did that, you could at least put some vice grips on it and roll it back up.
Mid-80s Volkswagens were famous for ripping off crank window handles. So here we are.
Here we are.
I don't know, man.
Back in the saddle again.
All right, Aerosmith.
I look just like Steven Tyler's dog.
I had something else to say, but you said enough.
I can sing like him too. I don't know. Like, we're just having fun tonight. If anyone wants to call in, don't hesitate. We're really, as you can tell, we've been sitting here waiting. We haven't said a word. No, wait a minute. Yeah, we said a couple.
We've said a lot of useless words. We're just filling time. We're filler.
We're filler.
We're the inside of a pot pie. We're the filler. It's meaty. Just meaty stuff.
We got the gravy going on too. Yeah. So, it's really bugging me. I can't remember what those little freaking cartridge things were called though. Like,
did they look like Atari cassettes?
Yeah, they did, and they were small though. They were like a compact.
Why don't you put it out there to chat?
I was keep peeking over there. No one can seem to remember.
They're too busy talking about Nazis.
That's fine. They're everywhere, dude. I swear. On the video games or on TV.
I used to love that video game.
The one where you get to shoot the Nazi zombies?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that one and
Resident Evil.
No,
Wolfenstein?
Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
that
dude. That was like the ultimate first person shooter back in the day.
Yeah. Great game.
Wolfenstein 3D.
And you get to kill Hitler after like 4 levels. Remember when video games used to be like...
You could beat him in a day or 2?
4 or 5 levels.
If it was hard, it was 3 days.
Now it takes you like 3 years.
There we go. We got a call coming in. Woo! We got a call coming in. Who we got on the line tonight here on Just in Time on UCY.TV? What's up, caller?
Hey, this is Vegas Vinny.
What up, Vinny?
What up, Vinny?
What's up, folks?
We're just having
enjoying
fun.
what appears to be an overcast sky.
Overcast, or is it just, there's a sun up there somewhere, but there's so many chemtrails that you can't see past it?
Well, it looks like the result of aerosol spraying to me. You can hear the jets flying over. They've been flying maneuvers all day.
Do you taste metal in your mouth?
Do I have metal mouth?
Do you taste metal in your mouth?
No, I don't have that good a taste. I've been smoking for 30-something years, I think.
That's probably a good thing, because you'd probably be tasting
40.
Probably be tasting a brake pad right now with all that spraying that's going on in there. So what's up, Vinny, man? It's only been forever and a day since we talked, man.
A week. All right.
Not even like a day.
Loving it being out west. It sucks for you guys, everybody back east. Oh man, 15 degrees. Y'all can have it.
15 degrees. It was minus 14 when I left my house this morning.
Really?
You sound like that's surprising. It's Vermont weather, dude. When I say it's been negative 32, that's uncommon. That's about 10 degrees colder than it usually gets.
It got all the way down to 40 degrees here last night.
Oh my God, Vinny! I bet you were bundling up. You look like an Eskimo walking around frickin' Vegas. Bet you everyone in Vegas did, actually. Is this like a snow convention here? Everyone's wearing like down jackets, parkas, and winter boots.
I imagine next month it's going to be some cold nights down there in that southern Arizona desert. It still gets cold at night. I mean, when you're even 40 degrees is chilly when you're sleeping in a tent.
I will admit, dude, like out there in Nevada, the temperature is really messed up. Like I said before, like I went to Reno like a year and a half ago now, and it was middle of June when I was there, and seriously, until the sun came up, I was cold. There's like, if there was humidity out there, there would be frost, but there's no humidity, so there's no frost. But it was like, 28 to 35 degrees until about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then it was like 70. Yeah. It was like a switch. Bang. Boom. And that's the northern part of Nevada. When I was in Vegas in 2002, summer 2002, I couldn't stand it, man. It was all, and you know what I hate about cities, man, and out in the desert? It's pavement heat, dude. Pavement heat is the worst. You know what I'm talking about?
Bounces right back up at you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, you got coming straight down on you, and you got coming straight up underneath you. And if it rained for like 2 seconds, or if someone spilt, or like a Like some kids were playing with the fire hydrant because they thought it was a good idea, and there's some water there. It is so muggy, and it's almost like I've literally, on like one of the hottest days in LA, I've always wore Converse, and I had to walk like 16 blocks to this place that I was going, and 16 blocks back, and it was like 117 degrees outside, and the pavement was so hot. By the time I got back, my soles were almost melting. They were like reforming to my foot. I had to get new shoes.
Fun. I love the rainstorms out here as a kid in the summer. Pretty awesome. Hey, just want to call and say hi. I'm gonna jump out. Y'all be cool.
All right, hi, Vinny. Thanks for calling up, dude.
Bye.
Keep it real.
Right on.
Peace out, bro. That's fun. I always like it when Vinny calls in.
That was funny.
Could last all 2 hours. Could last 5 seconds, man. It's and it's always great. Oh man. Chat again.
Gotta stop looking at that.
I know. Like, I'm trying to, see if there's any questions being thrown up in chat, and
no, they're talking
I get drawn towards the really funny comments, and I get distracted. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Yep.
Distractions are everywhere. We live in an age of deception and distraction.
And have since the day we were born.
That's true. And we didn't sign up for any of it.
You're supposed to know any better if that's all you've ever known.
Now you're asking really way too deep questions.
How is that way too deep? How is that way too deep? That's not that deep. It's not like I didn't ask you what the hell your purpose in life was.
I know what my purpose in life is. I have to pay my debts. Oh, and I have to pay taxes. Oh, and I have to be not respected and told what to do. The only thing I'm missing right now is some lashes on my back.
Or some other person telling you what to do with your life. Like,
I have one of them.
No. Somebody that you sleep next to that tells you what to do with your life. That's the only other.
Oh,
that's the only piece of that you missing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what, I made a comment the other night. I went out to dinner with my wife and father-in-law last Saturday at a little local place in Cabot. And we were talking, blah, blah, blah. And, he was talking because he's of the age, so he gets Medicaid or Medicare, whichever it is the old people get. Medicaid, I believe. And then I brought up, well, I'm not paying taxes this year. That started off a whole firestorm. And,
he's an accountant and all.
Yeah, tax accountant that. So, when I started explaining why I didn't feel like I needed to pay my taxes this year, it started off a whole thing. And basically what my argument boiled down to, because it wasn't being heard anyways, was that what choice do we have other than full on civil disobedience by trying to do all the little things that we couldn't do by, not paying taxes and not this and that, not that. But, and like we talked about a week ago, it's like you can only go so far. You can only go so far, and then you need somebody to go out there for you to start doing stuff. But the whole not paying taxes thing started off a whole little firestorm over dinner. It was kind of interesting, but I was like, I don't think I should have to pay it. I don't support any of that. I don't want any of my money going towards that.
It doesn't, and the money we pay in doesn't go anywhere but...
It goes to the debt.
Yeah, the interest in the debt. Whoop-de-doo. It doesn't go to anything special. Whoop-de-doo. Yay, yay.
You know what I want my money to go towards? Is that goddamn pothole I hit every goddamn morning on the way to work.
It's going to cost you a ball joint here soon.
It's going to cost me a strut, a ball joint, and probably an upper ball joint on my truck. Like, those are the things that money need to go to. I don't know. Seal off the walls. Let's focus internally, redo our infrastructure, then go take over the world. Like, if that's the way, you're going to be, if that's the way you're going to be about it, fine. But fix my goddamn road first. Like, that's what I care about. Like, I'm tired of hitting that damn pothole. I have to get up and drive to work every morning.
So you're saying you're fine with the imperialism as long as we make sure we're taking care of you.
Does it really matter if I'm
we have no say about it anyway.
I was gonna say, does it really matter if I give a shit or not? Like, I don't like we've talked about on this show before. We need to focus as locally as possible because that other shit, There's nothing we can do about that. Like, what are we going to do about the imperialism in this country? We're going to stand here, we're going to jump up and down, rant and rave, and bitch and show a bunch of videos and complain about it online all day on our whatever venue that you have. You're going to sit there and complain about it. But sitting in your mom's basement complaining about it isn't going to do anything about it. Like, that's the problem. You need to get as local as possible and start I called my representative last week and said, there's a pothole on our road that is, people are getting in accidents because it's 3/4 of the way into the travel lane and you have to go into the other lane to avoid it. And it's about 3 feet deep. Like, the ground underneath that hole is gone. Guess what I saw yesterday? There was a state truck out there throwing hot patch into it. Not that I'm saying that I had anything to do with it. I'm sure probably many other people.
One of the many straws in that camel's back.
Right. But, we need to go back to, not that I agree with anything that our government has ever done, ever, but we need to go, back to, I think it's the New Deal stuff where, the CCCs were built. We need to work on our infrastructure. We need to work on ourselves first. We're a fat, overweight, obese country that's just throwing weight around.
There's so many things that need to be done locally, and there's so many people on the government, in the government trough feeding like happy little pigs. And they'll just sit there, and the government's like, well, fine, we're just gonna, let you sit there, and everything's going to shit. Bridges, roads, even railroads, they don't use all that much around here anymore, but the point is there's so many things that could be done. They could create more jobs, just fixing crap. And presidents, like I say Obama, but presidents oh, well, we're gonna throw some money at this, and yeah, they do. They create 100,000 jobs. Whoop-de frickin' do. For their part-time jobs for a month, and they fix roads that don't pertain to anything. It's like
the bridge it's like the bridge to nowhere in Alaska. That $3 billion bridge that they were trying to
end.
Yeah. It connects two pieces of property that doesn't need to be connected. It was just it was a pork barrel project.
Just to do
But the thing is, think about this. If every state, every locale worked on their own personal infrastructure and we started there instead of at the top, started there, things would be much better across the board. And the other part of that, though, is getting out and doing something. And instead of just sitting on my ass bitching about it, I'm trying to do something about it and trying to involve myself and get out there. That's the crux of the message, I think, is that you need to get out there. And sitting here and pointing out all these great facts and all these truths, if you want to call them truths, they're our truths.
My truth different than your truth.
Exactly. The truth is all in your perception. From
eye of the beholder.
Exactly. So getting out there and doing something is more important than, I'm going to sit on my microphone and bitch for 3 hours today, and that's going to make a difference.
From noon to 3 from Austin, Texas. I know what you're talking about.
I started out, this, and now I'm this, and you should listen to me because I'm right.
We've been so right. You need to buy my DVDs. And seriously, guys, I want you guys to come over to my house and buy my DVDs. I need more beer money. So I got Metallica's DVDs. I got old school.
Let's whip together a documentary in 2 hours on the computer and bang, we're done. We'll just string together a bunch of shows, a bunch of other people's comments, piece it all together, connect the dots for people and be here you go. Because that's where we're at. You got to lead everybody by the friggin' bull ring. No one's willing to stand up for themselves. They're more than willing to sit around on the internet, on chat boards, bitching and moaning and complaining and picking on other people and bullying other people into their opinion, but they're not doing anything about it. And it's an irritant to me.
It's like a different level of trolling.
No, it's trolling. I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess it's a different level, but it's still trolling. Right. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there bitching and moaning and causing havoc on the internet.
Let's start a cause, man.
I don't know. I don't want to. No.
No. Hear me out, dude. Hear me out.
You know how I feel about causes.
Yeah, well, our cause is going to be a worldwide maple shortage. Maple syrup. We're gonna do a whole maple syrup cause.
So
there's not enough syrup in this world. It's man-made syrup shortage cause. And we'll just go out there with signs like, you need to drink more maple syrup. I don't know. I'm just being stupid, but like,
no, that's not stupid.
But we could make a whole documentary, and there would be enough freaking stupid people out there that would be like, oh, well, this is gonna be a good cause. I can get on board with that. I like maple syrup.
Right. Or it's a good enough cause for people to rally against because there's people out there that don't like real maple syrup. So, you know, it's like
Aunt Jemima's for all.
we can create a whole nother schism in this country, completely change it all by talking about maple syrup.
Or we could go to the next level too. We could start a whole rally and protest in front of IHOP. Be like, you're not using real maple syrup.
They do though.
You have to ask for it though.
You have to ask for it, but they do have it. So we could get the Northeast because we're the biggest producers of maple syrup. We could get the Northeast to withhold. Let's take this a step further. Let's get the Northeast to withhold all their beer. So now we're going to really hit people where it really fucking matters.
Well,
is in their beer.
I hope that I still get my hibernators.
Well, if you're a New England resident, you get your beer. And New York does not count as New England, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. New York is not New England. Okay? That is not part of New England. It is what it is.
What's your reasoning on that?
It's New York.
It's New York. Yeah,
look at it. Well, okay. You want to really?
I want.
My real reason
is it because it touches the Northeast and the Midwest at the same time?
No, because that to me is just a bisexual.
I was going to say a priest, but
even better. No, I was just going to say because throughout history, people from New York, or let me rephrase that, not people. The powers that be in New York have always tried to insert and enforce their influence on their neighbors.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we broke away from New York.
Well, that's why I really personally, after taking my Vermont history course, I even have more reason to dislike New York and anything that ever came out of it. So, because they tried to just hostile take over Vermont. And what did Vermont say? They said, no, thanks.
Hell no, we won't go.
No, they said they sent Ethan Allen out there to fight the Yorkers.
The Yorkies.
Pretty much.
Teeny.
Yeah, so we just need to start rallying. That's my whole point in my year of change speech that I've had this year so far is that we need to get off our asses, get off the couch, get out of the basement, get out of the treehouse and start doing shit. We need to start moving around, getting the voice heard beyond our little circle. We need to get out there, and it will be difficult. It'll be rough. You're going to get yelled at. You're going to be hated, but
like a bad case of herpes, we got to start spreading.
Pretty much. Or, it's like, if you don't like what you're hearing, like what we were listening to while we were having our pre-show conversation with Coop on in the background is, if you don't like what I'm saying and you're pissed off, it's probably because you're one of the sheeple. That's what it is. If you strike a chord with somebody and they get angry, it's because they know somewhere within themselves that, oh man, I really do need to start doing something other than watching my shitty football team play or my shitty
the people that are addicted like the Gold Rush show or those reality TV shows.
Or the internet. Or anything on the internet. Cause that's just as big of a problem as those people watching sports all the time. You sit at home in your mom's basement on the internet trolling everywhere, talking smack wherever you go. That's a problem because you're able to hide. You gotta get out there. You gotta put your face out there. You gotta be heard. That's where I'm getting at. It's time to take it out of the basement, people, and move on and get out there. Because otherwise, all this shit we talk
means nothing.
We're preaching to the choir to anybody that listens.
It's either preaching to the choir or like yelling in an empty room.
I feel like I'm yelling in an empty freaking Carnegie Hall. Nobody's hearing a damn thing we say.
This would be a good part for the echo effect.
Yeah, well, it would be, but that's what I've been seeing. get out there, do something,
Well, look at Doty.
Look,
Doty does it like every day, man.
Right.
Doty
Exactly.
is very
Good point.
Doty is out there, and she is a part of her community. They have a group. They have a cell network. They have an online network.
They call each other when something's going on. Like when we had her on. Like, like the other thing is like the Million Man March that they have in D.C. Like, why can't we get 1 million of us together? You know why?
We can't agree on nothing.
Well, there's that, and nobody wants to go outside and do anything. The sunlight hurts. I won't be able to touch my keyboard for 3 hours. Oh my God. I won't be able to pick on this dude. I won't be able to make fun of this guy's show. I don't care. I'm not gonna.
Usually that will start with like, so what time's the rally? 5 to 9? Well, man, I have to leave at 6:30 because there's this one thing I have to do every
My mom
day.
wants me home for dinner. Like, for real. Like, I mean,
or
honestly,
like I have to go troll this guy's show because I do that religiously every week.
right, I do
every
this
day.
just to be a pain.
This is my
I'm
job.
being paid! Like, that's a problem to me is like, everything that we speak about is all well and fine. Like, it's great. We have a small audience of people that agree with us, that are like-minded. They don't agree with us, but they're like-minded. But what are we really doing? What are we doing? We're not doing anything. That's why they don't give a shit about us speaking what we speak.
As a people, man, we're not doing shit.
I could say everything in the world mean on this microphone, but the moment I say something bad about the president or
the administration
or something like that, taxes, then we get flagged. But and it has to be really bad. You have to like commit threats to get looked at. But doing this is great. I love this venue. I love speaking here, but it needs to go beyond this. And I propose to anybody, if you got something that you're doing out there, I wholeheartedly support you. And if I could be there, I would. If it's close, I would be there. Like, these are the type of things that we need to move on to. We need to become active.
Well, it's like we were talking on Tuesday, like the protesters in this area, they don't let anyone know.
Well, there's that.
They don't. So, like, if you really, the people that really want to have some kind of rally or protest movement, like, they need to really get the word out there. And I don't mean like go on your Facebook. I don't use Facebook. Okay, I'm sorry, people. I hate Facebook. I have a Facebook account. I have like 300 and something friends on there, but they're all people that hated me in high school. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them, or family that talks behind my back, that's expected from family. But I don't do Facebook, and I don't do Twitter. I don't agree with the social networking that people are corralled into.
Social networking disconnects you.
It's another thing. It keeps you in front of that keyboard. That's the other thing. And I'm more of an out in the real world kind of guy. So if people want to actually get some kind of get the regular working man, blue collar, wrench turning, mop pushing dude out there in your rally and connect with them, it's called a piece of paper and a tack. You write what you're doing on the piece of paper and you tack it at the gas station near the register.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this, like, from your youth, but when I was a kid, like, when shows would go on at the local punk rock club or the local club or whatever, every signpost would have a flyer on it.
Stapled to it. Clink, clink, clink.
Stapled or duct taped to it. And then, there'd be hundreds of them on the signpost.
Yeah, everywhere. You don't see that anymore. Good point. I have not seen a telephone pole littered with graffiti paper in a long time.
It's just, that's what frustrates me. Like, that's why, I've been on this big kick this year, and like, I'm putting other actions into place, that I'm changing a whole bunch of lifestyle things. Like, next month it's going to be an alcohol-free month. I'm putting out there, like, for myself personally, I'm going to have an alcohol-free month. And A, to make sure I can still do it. That's my main reason.
Practice.
But B, monetary. C, to change things. If you can change one small thing, then other changes get easier and easier and easier and easier. And before you know it, I'm a different person than when you first met me. Like, I am
I know.
Almost completely different person from when you first met me. And that's because I put actions into place when I, at the time, was backed up and forced into it. against my will. But now that I see what happened, I'm completely ecstatic with the way things went down. Like, I didn't like it at the time, couldn't see it at the time, but now I am happy with it. So it may be unpopular for me to say this. It may be, I may get hated. Our show may get boycotted, which in 1A, I don't, it would suck, but get off your fucking ass and go do something. Like, do something. Be a product. Be part of the solution. Like, get out there. I don't care if it's going to your local gun show and, volunteering to have people sign a petition so that you can keep your guns in that state, whatever state you live in. Or going out.
Just that county, not even the state. Just start in the county.
Like, go out and work at a soup kitchen for once. Or get out and do something. Like, do anything. Like, my wife volunteers on a very irregular basis. In the summertime, she has more time and she can do but she does her part. It's like, and it makes me feel like I need to do my part. Like, I don't do enough. And that's part of my rhetoric for this year is get out and do something. Like,
it sounds like your wife is a very positive influence on your change mechanism going on right now.
Yeah. On one end, but on the other end, she's the devil's advocate for everything that I don't believe in. So
that's also good, though.
It is, because
you have that challenge.
It keeps me honest. It keeps me thinking. It keeps me on my toes, and indirectly does that for you, because when I get assailed against, who do I call? Hey, I call you.
That's right.
And like, we need to research this. We need to find out more. We need to be able to prove our argument. But it goes more. I feel like this is a debate club. Like, we're all sitting here.
There's a constant debate, and there's no end.
There's no end to it. Oh, we may get an A, quote unquote, at the end of the class, but I don't care about an A. I care about literally seeing change. I want to see change. I don't want anybody out there doing anything in my name that I didn't sign off on. I don't sign off on 99.99999/infinity on anything.
Anything new, and most of the stuff that's already been passed.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with that. Anything that happened before I was 18, before I had a quote unquote voice and vote in the matter. Like, anything before that, I don't have anything to do. So I blame anybody older than I am for that. And for anything beyond when I turned 18, it's our own goddamn fault, man. We put ourselves in this situation. Like, you may sit here and say, oh, this sucks, that sucks, and I don't want them to do that. But what have you done about it? Like, that's
right.
We each of us needs to suck it up and take our own personal responsibility for our own lives. Stop trolling on people and get out there and do something about it. Get out of your basement, get out of your apartment, go do something. Like, that's my motivation right now. I want to see positive change in my lifetime.
And I've seen positive change in you. I have. And you have been doing a lot of things. And I see that actually directly through monkey see, monkey do mode. I see it coming through your children as well.
A little bit.
It's definitely inching with your 17-year-old.
Yeah, well, she is who she is. So people on UCI have heard her, but
she did call in, she does have.
I will say this:
have a mind of her own.
Exactly that. That girl. All I've ever done for each of my daughters is to make your own decisions and live with those decisions. If you're unhappy with something, change that situation in any way that you can. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And if you sit at home and clickety-clack on your keyboard all day long while everybody else in the world is out there working and trying to get by and trying to... And granted, I am one of the first people to know that going out there and toiling for any corporation, any boss, any sort of person other than yourself is futile. It is a futile attempt that you're making. But it's just like the licenses that we're going to be forced to get in the next 2 years. You have to do it. You have to play within the rules to do what you want to do. But if you want to change the rules, you have to be part of that. You can't just expect somebody else to come along and say, hey, I don't agree with them screwing you like that, so I'm going to change these rules for you personally. No, You need to get up and you need to change those rules for yourself.
Many people, one voice.
Many hands make light work.
It's very true. And we don't have enough hands out there.
We have no hands. In this world, the alternative media, the truth seekers, the know-it-alls, those in the know, we don't do shit. We sit here and bitch and moan about
keyboard cowboy.
Fukushima sucks. Ah! What are you doing about it? Did you go volunteer anywhere? Did you do anything about it? Did you put any effort in? Did you do anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's another country, so let's not even go there. Okay, let's go with, and this one personally bothers me, but Hurricane Sandy. Mm-hmm. Okay, didn't seem as bad to me as Hurricane Irene when it hit Vermont. Yeah, whatever. Hurricane Sandy was a bigger thing because it hit New York City and shit Jersey. Like, okay, did anybody go out of their house and go down there and help hand out water to people? I didn't. I know I didn't. So I'm just as guilty as everybody else out there. But I have to go to work every day. I don't have these abilities. But those people that do have the ability, that still sit at home in their mom's basement and clickety clack on their keyboard. Personally, for me, you don't have a leg to stand on. Mm-hmm. You got free time. You could be doing something, and you're not.
Well, I think, the people you're talking about that are sitting there keyboard clacking, they're waiting for a button that's like a super caps lock button, so they're super, super pissed.
No, they're waiting for somebody else to come along and tell them what they're supposed to do.
Well, they are.
The great
my
guru is going to come along on the internet.
Well, how many people are waiting for Mr. Austin, Texas to say, okay, it's going to start. Like that's the problem. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Huge.
Because there is not going to be one person, one voice out there in this world that's going to change anything. It's going to be, and I always say this before I say this word. I hate this word, but it's a collective effort. Mm-hmm. And I hate the word collective. But the problem is we live in a collective society. What happens with the collective society? Well, the collective wins. And if we got a bunch of collective freaking morons that sit in front of their
jerking
computer
off
screen,
in front of their computers,
yeah,
then that's it. That's it exactly. It's like I agree with you that the word collective sucks, but that's the world we've been handed. Mm-hmm. Like we have been handed that. We didn't create this, we didn't make this, but this is what we have to deal with. So we have to work within the parameters that we have been given and do something. Like that's the whole thing. Is like do something. Be the positive change. I hate that bumper sticker because I see it on like 9 out of 10 Subarus. Be the positive change you want to see in the world. Now, as much as I hate hippiness and hippie bullshit bumper stickers, that bumper sticker says a lot and means a lot. And I've been thinking a lot about that. Like, you have to be. If it doesn't begin at home with quote unquote Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, then it's never going to get changed. We will be here in 50 years from now, and our kids will be here bitching about the same goddamn shit that we're bitching about.
We're perpetuating the system no matter what we say on this.
Exactly.
On anything. We're not doing anything, and it's getting worse.
Exactly.
And we feel like we're doing something, but we're really not doing it. It's like another yet form of like enslaving the next generation to push push it on to the next one. Oh well, we did our best, and then they're going to do their best.
We screwed it up. So here you go.
I'm sorry, but there's only so many bumbling blind people in the dark we can have wandering around feeling their way through life before we actually got to do something about it.
Before you grab the wrong thing in the dark on the wrong dude, like that's it. That's stop bumbling around in the dark. Open up the door. Go out into the light. Do something. I don't care what it is.
That thing in front of your house, it's called a door. Walk through it. There's stuff on the other side.
There's a whole world out there.
Check that out. Now we're coming up on the last 30 seconds here. That was pretty quick, huh?
It was, but I'm gonna end this show like we did last week. Like Mike said, I predict pain. That's it. Done.
Pain coming through. It's
Good
gonna.
luck, everybody.
That's right.
Like a dealer in a casino. I'm clapping my hands, showing you both sides. Good luck, everybody.
Let it go.